How do I start this? Hello, people of YouTube. My name is Tobias Soar, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Why am I on YouTube? Why is another white guy talking about film? No, honestly, why am I on YouTube? Well, it's a new challenge for me. It's a new challenge. I wanted to go somewhere else with my work. A little bit about me. I have just graduated from university. I studied politics and international relations, but on the side, I was a writer and editor. I wrote for my student paper, The Mancunian, for the 3 years I was at university. First year I was just a music reviewer, I went to concerts, but then in second, third year I was the head editor of the film section. And through that, I gained a new love for film. I wanted to write about it, I wanted to expand my horizons. I attended Grimfest, which is a horror festival here in Manchester, Viva, Kino Film, what else? Sundance London was my biggest festival. So I've been around in my couple of years. However, I've graduated. I am no longer in paper because I've moved on, of course. And I wanted a new outlet, somewhere to bring my discussion. And this is why this channel exists. During my time as a film critic and film writer, I learned one very important thing. I hate criticism. Now, film critic that hates criticism, this is absurd. How are you going to do that? Film criticism has become more reductive over time with social media and stuff like Letterboxd, which I love. I love Letterboxd, don't get me wrong. There's some hilarious reviews that are literally just a sentence or a word. However, it leads people to think about film in the term of lists and rankings and star ratings, and I want to eliminate that. I know, it's extreme, don't crucify me. What I believe is that film contributes to discourse. I studied geopolitics in my degree, and it was my core passion, and through that I learned different ideas around discourse. And it can get really philosophical and really stuffy. But what I do want to say is that there is a discourse. Films contribute to a conversation. I mean, there are films that talk about the black experience, such as The Five Bloods or Moonlight, which not only talks about the black experience or the black experience in America, but the gay experience. These are all ways for authors and actors to bring up these issues and throw them into the world and let people talk about them. So, I'm not going to do reviews on this channel. I'm going to do talks about film, chats about film. It's no longer about reviewing. I'm doing away with star reviews, and I'm going to be talking in the terms of recommend if, don't recommend if. So essentially saying, I recommend you watch Halloween by John Carpenter if you are a fan of the horror genre or a fan of thrillers and you want to see something that has a pulsing soundtrack and clean visuals and an inception of a genre. Things like that. Keep it simple, keep it tight, look for what people want to watch and why they'd want to watch it. Now, what's this channel all about? It's a white guy with his mic sitting in his tiny bedroom filming on a DSLR that focuses weirdly. What am I going to do with this channel? Am I going to do video essays? Am I going to do reviews? I don't think so. It's going to be a conversation. I want to talk to you, the viewer, who can get in touch with me in the comments, on my Instagram, on my Twitter. All the links are in the description, will be at the end of the video, so do not worry about that. And I want to talk about a specific film, a specific series of films, a specific auteur, whether it's a director or a composer or an actor. I want to look at these different subsections of film and bring them all together in a conversation where people can say, we can do hot takes. I am a bit inspired by Anthony Fantano, which, yeah, Fantano, there's a whole conversation about how his criticism influences people's musical taste. However, I appreciate his way of engaging the community. I also want to bring you, the viewer, into the world of film journalism. And with that, I know it's a bit hard right now, but when the time is right, I will do festival vlogs. I attend a handful of festivals a year. I want to attend more. I mean, the dream is to go to Cannes. Who doesn't want to go to Cannes? I want to go to Sundance in the US. I want to go to South by Southwest. I want to do all this cool stuff, but let's take it easy for now. I want to spotlight what's cool here in Manchester, first of all. And I'll do vlogs, I'll bring you along for the ride. We'll be able to see what it's like to pick up a press pass and what it's like to have a press screening where there's an embargo. So I'll be able to say, well, I can't say anything about the film, but this is a procedure. How a film festival operates, because it's so obfuscated for so many people. I want to do interviews. I enjoy interviewing people. I've done a few. If you check my Mancunian profile, I have interviewed Alison Clayman, director of The Brink, John Cooper and David Courier, who are respectively director of Sundance and head of curation at Sundance. I've spoken to Crystal Moselle, who did Skate Kitchen when she came to Manchester. I have a little bit of experience, but I want to do more. I want to do it on video. I want to have it more of a natural flow, you know, have it, make sure you see the conversation. The second to last thing I want to do is bring other people to talk about this. I have a lot of friends who are journalists, a lot of friends who are experts on a certain topic because they are musicians, because they are athletes, because they work in a certain field. And what I want to do is bring them onto the channel, might be a Zoom, might be an interview when the time's right, and have them talk about how they relate to a film. Because, and this brings me to my final point, there's one thing I hate, and I know it's a strong word, but I hate about a lot of film reviewers and a lot of podcasts, and it's bullshitting. There's a lot of critics and a lot of YouTubers out there that don't like to admit when they don't know something. They will try and pretend that they know something about a certain topic and kind of go along with it. Or they'll bring up facts that are completely incorrect and they don't fact check them. And that just, it's unprofessional, and that really isn't a point that is important. You don't have to be professional to talk about film. But I want to be honest, if I don't know something, if I don't know about a certain experience in life because I've never walked down that path, I will bring someone on who has and have them talk about film with me. That way, I can really talk about how a film adds to a conversation. Do you need to be a film critic? Do you need to have studied film to talk about film properly? No, you do not. Everyone can talk about film. That's what I've learned over the last few years. Just because you studied film studies, or read a lot of books about film, or watched documentaries about film and behind the scenes and spent time on Reddit talking to people, doesn't make you any more qualified to talk about film than my girlfriend or my friends at the pub. Because films are about what they make you feel and what they make you think. And anyone can bring that conversation forward. If you want an example of this, I have a podcast. Of course I have a podcast. But on my podcast, Films and Friends, with my co-host Josh, we bring on friends to talk about film and what their favourite film is and what their least favourite film is and what films are important to them from their childhood. And we talk about how people relate to film. So it's not about what's the greatest film of all time and arguing about Tarantino or something. It's about how does a film make you feel? Why do you enjoy this film? Why is it important to you? Small Soldiers. I was just thinking about Small Soldiers. It's not a great film. I mean, you can look at the reviews for it. It's not good. And even if you watch it today, you might see that it's terrible. But I have a connection to that. I remember watching it as a kid and being creeped out. I mean, that film is creepy. I want to talk about how films make me feel, how films make you feel. And a numerical score won't justify this, but a conversation will, which is the point of this channel. The bottom line of this channel is to bring film conversation to you, the viewer. How can you add to this conversation? I mean, it's me talking to a camera and you can't talk back. I can't hear you right now if you're talking. I want you to drop a comment and tell me what you want to see on the channel, because I've listed all these ideas, but what do you want to see from me? A pasty white guy in his 20s that likes films. Honestly, what do you want to see? Let's talk about it. Drop a comment, follow me on Twitter, maybe even reach out to me on Instagram where I post photography, but I'll happily talk about film, and even Letterboxd. Let's have a chat. Let's bring film conversation to you. Thank you for watching this video. I'm your host, Tobias Soar. It's been a pleasure to have you come here and give your time of day to watch me talk about films. All my social media can be found here. Reach out to me. Let's have a chat. Let's argue about films. I will argue with you. Trust me. The Italian Job is the greatest film of all time. It is.